checking the forecast. Things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon. The pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're open the gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. Let's get this show on the road.
I say let's get this show on the road, guys. Emergency Management Associates is on the air. We're on the air, guys. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates today. My name's Ron Tyler. We're on the air for you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, sometime between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time during the weekday. We're on the air at any point in time, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, anytime during the day or night. We're on the air. As soon as something happens, we'll be on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. That pertains to today as well. Okay? Want to make it very clear. We have a lot of information for you right now. Right now. Okay? The first thing I'm going to do is tell you the United States was attacked yesterday evening in Texas. Texas was attacked in Austin, Texas. Okay? The first thing I want to do today is play a Trump speech from yesterday. Be advised, Trump is only going to acknowledge like 3 servicemen were killed as a result of what we've done in Iran Friday night into Saturday, but now it's Sunday afternoon, and Trump is acknowledging we've lost 6 servicemen now. So let's play this clip for you right now.
Epic Fury, one of the launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard
Hold on a second.
systems. Just now was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action.
Like I said, 6 of our servicemen, U.S. servicemen, have been killed as a result of Iranian talkback to us. Okay? Iran fired missiles. We've also lost 3 fighter jets. The United States has lost 3 fighter jets in this war. We've lost 6 servicemen.
As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now, again, the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America" or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America.
That was a speech that President Trump gave us yesterday. He came on the air announcing that 3 servicemen had been injured and 3 servicemen had been killed. Now we have 6 servicemen that have been killed as of today. Now, we've also, speaking of this, we've also sunk 9 boats, 9 terrorist boats, Iranian ships in the Gulf of Iran, right off the coast of Iran. We've sunk 9 of their ships, taken them down. They're now bobbing on the bottom of the ocean. We're not going to tolerate this any longer. Not going to happen. We've also had a United States base in Saudi Arabia attacked. Let's play this clip for you as well.
Senator, if you could stand by with us, we want to bring in our Chief National Security Correspondent, Jennifer Griffin. She's got some breaking news to add to what we are learning right now about this operation. Jennifer.
Sandra, I just spoke with a senior U.S. official that confirmed to Fox that the U.S. does believe that Ali Khamenei, the Ayatollah, was killed along with 5 to 10 top Iranian leaders in that initial Israeli strike on his compound earlier today that launched this day of strikes, the last 12 hours. They agree with Israel's intelligence assessment. But what is most interesting to me is that the multiple sources have told me that the strike had to be moved up based on intelligence and this so-called target of opportunity. There was a deliberate decision to accelerate the timeline and to strike during the daytime, which is extremely unusual. Usually the U.S. would not strike during the daytime, but they wanted to catch the senior leadership off guard. It was a Saturday morning during Ramadan, and it was also Shabbat during the day. And that's when Israel took the opportunity and dropped those 30 bombs on the compound, and the U.S. simultaneously launched strikes against all of the military targets that then we've seen the results of today. I've also learned that the U.S. alone, the U.S. military alone, has carried out nearly 900 strikes in the last airstrikes in the last 12 hours. That is an incredibly high number of strikes in the first 12 hours of this operation, Sandra.
Hey, Jan, it's John here. So the one thing that we sometimes neglect to mention is that one of the big reasons why Midnight Hammer and the 12-Day War were so successful was because Israel had Mossad agents on the ground who were directing activities for the aircraft that were overhead. Do we have any idea? And one of the other things about the 12-Day War that was so brilliant on the part of the Israelis is they managed to attract, to bring together top members of the IRGC leadership, and then they eliminated them. Do we know what the Mossad's potential role was here in making sure that they had everybody in the right place at the right time to launch this strike?
I think it's safe to assume, John, that this was an intelligence-driven operation, and the people who have the best intelligence in that region tend to be Mossad. If you look at what happened last summer in terms of Lebanon and the drawing together of those leaders as well taking out and decapitating Hezbollah. This is a style of attack and strike and intelligence that really only the Israelis are capable of. And so I think it makes sense that it was their warplanes that struck the compound. But I found it very interesting that the U.S. Had to agree to move up the timeline based on this target of opportunity, and that senior officials both in Israel as well as in the United States believe that 5 to 10 top Iranian leaders were killed in that strike, including the IRGC commander killed alongside Ali Khamenei.
Jen, if you could you also give us any further details that we have learned about attacks on U.S. military bases in the Middle East? What do we know at this point?
Well, we know that there have been at least 300 missiles fired by Iran today. Some of them have been missiles, some drones targeting various U.S. military bases. A lot of people may not realize that the U.S. has bases in almost every Gulf country. So from Oman to Kuwait to UAE to Qatar, as well as in Saudi Arabia. In fact, I've just received word from a very senior military source that the U.S. base, the Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, is currently under attack by Iranian ballistic missiles, and that the Saudis are currently shooting down those missiles. But this is a big escalation, and we reported earlier today how significant it was that the Saudis had decided to get off the sidelines and decide to say that they were joining in this operation against Iran once Iran fired missiles into Iranian territory, because they're also firing into some of the areas where oil production is in Saudi Arabia. So the countries like Oman, UAE, and Oman has come off the sidelines as well and is criticizing Iran for the strikes against UAE, Qatar, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia.
Right. I mean, the fact that Iran is throwing all these ballistic missiles at countries in the region, I mean, could be read as the death knell of a regime that is on its last legs. Because
it's certainly a sign of desperation, John. I think that is absolutely correct. And I just meant to mention to Sandra, you asked about the strikes on the U.S. bases. There have been no casualties. So while there has been some incoming, there have been no casualties and no real damage that has interfered with operations.
So if this is indeed Iran just kind of firing everything that it's got at everybody in the region as it crumbles, the question is, how many ballistic missiles does it have? And I'm sure that our ability to defend against them is finite. I mean, how much do we have left in terms of missile defense?
Well, I think we have plenty of missile defense right now. I mean, it's not infinite, but what I have learned is that Iran has fired about 300 missiles today. They have about 2,000 long-range missiles and 2,000 shorter-range missiles. That is really significant because they were building up. Remember, a lot of those missile supplies were attrited last summer during Operation Midnight Hammer, but it seems, and sources have told me, that one of the reasons it was so urgent and needed that Israel and the United States felt that they needed to act is that if Iran had had another year, they would have had 1,000 more ballistic missiles. They were building them at such a pace and resupplying despite having lost so many last year.
Jen, before you go, and we have a live look at the White House, I'm being told right now, we have not heard directly from the U.S. or Iran, for that matter, following the confirmation of the Supreme Leader's death, correct?
We have not heard an official comment on the record statement. I imagine that they would let that be announced by the president.
Got it. And I'm told the pictures that we have right now are new from the Situation Room, guys. I think we're getting our first pictures from inside the Situation Room. Okay. This is from, obviously, Mar-a-Lago, as the president traveled there yesterday after he left Texas from Mar-a-Lago as this decision was being made. Okay. Jen Griffin joining us by phone on the breaking news. Thank you so much.
Click here to...
Okay. That was as of yesterday, okay? Again, our forces have been attacked all over the Gulf, all over the place. And I want to say this as well, okay? Yes, we've had one of our U.S. bases in Bahrain attacked. I've got a picture of that here. Let me bring that up for you right now. One of our bases in Bahrain, a U.S. Navy base in Bahrain, was attacked yesterday afternoon. Let me show you this. This is the base right now. The United States 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain got attacked. Okay? Iran dropped 2 missiles into Bahrain, into the U.S. base, and attacked the base. Now, it's unclear right now if any of the service members in Bahrain got hurt, but a total of 6 servicemen have been killed as a result of the actions against Iran since Friday night, Saturday morning. Okay, that's happened. We're so sad to report that. I wish we didn't have to report. I wish we would have the same thing reported that we had last June when we attacked with Israel over in Iran. We flew home with no injuries, no casualties, no anything. That's not the case this time. They kind of figured that this would happen. Okay? They kind of figured it would happen because this was a major attack and Iran was waiting for us. They were actually waiting for us. As a report from Fox News said, that they were in the process of making missiles to attack the United States and its positions throughout the Gulf. That's why they did this. That's why we went in with search force Friday night, Saturday morning, and attacked them during the day in Iran. During the day in Iran. We took them out, and we did it during the day, not at night under the color of darkness. Like I said, there were celebrations. Celebrations literally around the world, here in the United States as well. Celebrating, thank you, Trump, for attacking Iran and liberating Iran. Now, we've also seen pictures that I don't know for sure whether they're viable or not, so I'm not going to show those to you. However, we have pictures that there were women taking off their burqas in the streets of Iran. Women taking off their burqas, feeling liberated, to take off their burqas for the first time in some 47 years. 47 years ago, 1979, when the Iranian Khomeini took out and invaded the U.S. Embassy there in Tehran and kidnapped and held hostage our Iranian embassy staff, our U.S. embassy staff in Tehran, held them hostage until right before President Reagan was brought into office. They were scared of President Reagan. They thought President Reagan was a full pistol. They were afraid of President Reagan. They should be afraid of President Trump as well. They were not. They said on Thursday that they were not coming in any agreement with the United States in telling us that they would not manufacture nuclear weapons. They wanted them. They wanted those weapons to attack the United States and all over the world. They're not going to get away with it. Not at all. But through all of this, the United States was attacked in Texas. Let me play this clip from Benny Johnson. Again, this came from Benny Johnson today. Austin, Texas got attacked. Look at this. This is the man's car that attacked our people, our citizens in Austin, Texas. He had a Quran and a pistol on the seat of his car. This man was an Iranian U.S. citizen, originally from New York. He attacked our country in Austin, Texas. He killed 2 of our people and injured 14 others.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. I think that we have the first confirmed terrorist attack as retaliation for the American forces' killing of Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran and the absolute and total demolition of Iranian Guard forces. Ladies and gentlemen, an Austin bar, Austin, Texas, was attacked last night, possibly motivated by the Iran attacks. A Quran was found in the car of the attacker. As FBI eyes terrorism, 2 were killed, 14 were injured. This is an atrocious update and something that is sort of the sum of all fears. The question is, how many terrorists were let into America? How many sleeper cells are currently active in our nation right now because of our open borders? Austin bar mass shooter, possibly motivated by Iran attacks. Quran has been found.
Lose 45 pounds and look completely transformed. This.
So I'm not going to allow that to go.
Happens on the eve of the announcement of the Ayatollah Khomeini getting killed by U.S. forces. A former New York City resident who killed 2 people and wounded 14 in a packed Austin, Texas bar was possibly motivated by a U.S. attack on Iran, according to the New York Post. Sources told the Post the FBI is investigating the shooting as ideologically motivated act of terrorism. So this is an individual from New York City, a U.S. citizen from Senegal. Senegal, a majority Muslim country, had a Quran and clothing described as Islamic garb when he opened fire on Bulford's backyard beer garden at the University of Austin, Texas. According to sources familiar, this individual who was wearing Islamic garb had what, I don't know exactly what that means, a headscarf or whatever, from a Islamic country. And
He had on a gray sweatshirt that said Allah. A-L-L-A-H. Allah was what it said.
And apparently stalked the bar, apparently drove around the bar multiple times, around the block multiple times, looking for soft targets. You have to keep your head on a swivel. You have to keep your wits about you. You should be carrying, you should be exercising your Second Amendment rights. And this could have been so much worse if the police hadn't have acted immediately. Thank God for the police in Austin, Texas. Let's read. The gunman had a history of arrests in Texas, believed to have lived in New York City. Obviously, it's still way too early to process to determine the exact motivation of the subject's vehicle, indicate a potential nexus to terrorism. There are indications inside of the vehicle, obviously a Quran. Acting special agent of the FBI said the attack happened at 2 a.m. Closing time, hundreds of people were leaving the hotspot. A large SUV was spotted traveling around the block several times. He was stalking this bar. Keep your heads on a swivel. Pay attention. SUV stalked the bar, looped the block several times. When he spotted in front of the bar, began shooting out the front window with a pistol, hitting patrons on the front patio. He then parked the car, got out, and began shooting as people walked by. Police confronted the shooter within less than a minute. Imagine if this has gone on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. The first gunshot at the intersection of 6th Street shot and killed him. The 2 victims, the shooter died at the scene. So he did kill 2. He injured 14. They were rushed to the hospital. Nobody's been identified so far. The first terrorism attack in response to Iran and the bombing in Iran, ladies and gentlemen. FBI official confirms in a news conference that the shooter at Austin's mass shooting had materials that were indications of a nexus of terrorism. No idea what the other materials might be, but this obviously seems, along with obvious news cycles that are happening right now throughout the world, because there are Americans under attack throughout the Mideast. Dubai is in flames. There are French military bases, American military bases that are actively being bombed. Obviously, Israel is being bombed very severely right now. This seems to be aligned. And the main horrible reality is that there were and are so many more potential attacks. I'm not trying to be an alarmist here, but consider again what happened to the National Guard members in Washington, D.C. How many people from the caliphate countries, right? How many countries from the Muslim dysphoria that spans all of Asia effectively? How many of them are here? How many of them are here illegally? Or how many of them have ties back to terror networks? We know that this is, ladies and gentlemen, ground zero, literally ground zero for the style of attacks that we saw last night.
Okay, this is going
just a
to be
big beer
ongoing,
garden.
guys. This is going to be ongoing. Okay, I believe we're going to get more attacks. I'm telling you right up front. There are Islamic factions here in the United States. Let's just talk about this just for a minute here. I want to make sure everybody's aware of this. This is very important information for each one of us. Let's start over here in the state of Washington. Look at this, guys. Seattle, Washington. Hybrid fundamentalist group. Algerian armed Islamic group in Seattle, Washington. San Francisco. We have an Islamic force party in San Francisco. Santa Clara down in Los Angeles area. Al-Qaeda and Hamas. Al-Qaeda and Hamas. Let's talk about San Diego as well. San Diego has another Islamic group, Algerian armed Islamic group in San Diego, California. San Diego, guys. Tucson, Arizona. Al-Qaeda and Hamas. Whoever would have thought? Would have thought? Let's go over into the Denver area. Al-Qaeda is in Denver. Al-Qaeda is in Denver. Now let's talk about Oklahoma. There is a group of Hamas terrorists in Oklahoma. Hamas terrorists in Oklahoma. Texas. Texas, guys. Houston, Texas. Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and Muslim Brotherhood in Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth. Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and Hezbollah in Fort Worth, Dallas area. Okay? Incredible, huh? Absolutely it is. Over in Oklahoma, the Islamic Salvation Front, Al-Qaeda, and Hamas are also there. Ohio. Go figure, Ohio as well. Indiana. Illinois. Virginia. Yes, Virginia, guys. Charlotte, North Carolina. Potomac, Maryland. Hezbollah group. Laurel, Maryland. Al-Qaeda is there. Herndon, Virginia. Al-Qaeda and Islamic Jihad is there. Springfield, Virginia has got Hamas there. Then let's look over in the red part of Florida. Red part of Florida, I'm talking about Conservative Party in Florida. They have their Al-Qaeda group in Orlando, Florida as well. Tampa, Florida has an Islamic Jihad group there. Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, Al-Qaeda is there. These Islamic terrorists are literally all over this country and also in Canada. Can't forget Canada, they're there as well. I want to make it very clear. Just like Benny said, we must keep our head on a swivel. We must be prepared. We need to be caring. Keep our head on a swivel, make sure our families are trained. Make sure our family individuals, members of our family, and our neighbors are trained to withstand what's going to happen, to protect themselves and their families. Everybody needs to be prepared, guys. This is not just various cities around this country. It's literally all over this country and all over Canada as well. All over the world. London has Islamic Jihad there. London, yeah. In fact, the London mayor is also Islamic, just like the New York mayor now. Islamic Jihad. They're trying to turn our countries into Islamic groups. We have to be prepared to stop that. We cannot allow this to happen. Ever. It's already happened. We can't allow it to continue. We have to stand up and say, no, we're not going to allow this. Period. Now, we also had a embassy in Pakistan. Karachi, Pakistan was attacked yesterday morning. Let me just play a brief snippet from this, about 30 seconds, of the attack on our U.S. Embassy in Karachi, Pakistan. Look at this. There's music behind it, so I'm not going to play it. But look at these guys. They're taking hammers. They're taking wood, great big huge pieces of wood, and smashing the windows at the U.S. Embassy. They also set part of the embassy on fire. That fire was put out. But through all this, the United States Marines who were protecting our embassy in Karachi, Pakistan, opened fire and unalived 14 Islamic terrorists in Karachi, Pakistan. 14 terrorists that attacked the U.S. Embassy were unalived, and 12 others were injured. 12 others were injured. Look at that. Attacking the windows of the embassy in Karachi, Pakistan. It's not tolerated. Won't be tolerated. Not now, not ever. As I said, what happened in Tehran in 1979 is not going to happen again. In this case, in Pakistan, which, yes, is mostly an Islamic country, it's not going to be allowed. Police in Pakistan were there also, but after the fact. After the fact. But our Marines were not just there. They opened fire and took those people out. Took them out. Now, I personally believe this is not over. I believe there's going to be more Islamic terrorists here in the United States, and we have them in Canada, as I said. Just because the United States and Israel attacked Iran, continuing to take those people apart. By the way, remember that Fox News report that said we had eliminated the Ayatollah? The Iranian Brotherhood, the Iranian authorities installed his son as the new Ayatollah. Guess what? Yesterday evening, the Israeli fighter planes annihilated him and eliminated the Ayatollah's son. They're both dead today. They're both dead today. Apparently, 10 Iranian leaders are now unalived. 10 high-ranking Islamic leaders in Iran are unalived. Now, we're going to continue punishing them, as President Trump said. Up to 4 weeks of this punishment. Possibly more. Possibly more. But it's not going to, this stuff that's happened is not going to continue. Not now, not ever. Not now, not ever. We're not going to let it happen. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Vicky's here. She said she's been listening. We must remember we have always been infidels in Islamic ideology. We have homegrown converts to Islam as well. Beware of your surroundings. We do. We've had homegrown Islamic people here in Morganton, North Carolina. I've seen them. I watched them walk around the town in Morganton. I've watched them walk around the Morganton Walmart and some of the other shopping centers here in Morganton. I've been very specific in my watching. I want to make sure we're protected. I've been watching out, just as all of us should be doing. We all should be worried about what's going to happen around us. We need to be vigilant. Don't let your guard down. Do not let your guard down, guys. This is extremely serious. I don't want to see any of our EMA family be hurt or injured or worse by Islamic terrorism. It's here. When I was a cop in both San Diego and also in Denver, especially in Denver, actually both places. First, there were over 1,400 gangs that we dealt with in San Diego alone. In Denver, I encountered more Islamic gangs and Hispanic gangs in Denver. More of them. My first arrest in Denver was an Hispanic gang member that I arrested twice previously in San Diego for felonies. Felonies. Somehow he got out of the jails in San Diego. Got out. Moved to Denver. What did I do? When I saw him breaking into cars and trying to kidnap, or not kidnap, I should say, but try to take a woman's purse away from her, an elderly woman's purse, by the way. She was 69 years old in Denver, trying to take her purse away from her. My partner and I basically piled on him. We body slammed him into the pavement. Yes, he'd been breaking into cars. We saw that. But when he tried to take that elderly woman's purse from her, we body slammed him. We arrested him. Then he looked over his left shoulder. My badge was on my left breast pocket. My badge was up here. He looked over his left shoulder and looked at me and said, "Tyler." And I said, "You'd never forget this face. I'm going to be your worst enemy. I will be your worst enemy." When I went home that day, I recognized him. I went into my files and I pulled my files on him. I kept 7 years worth of police reports when I was a cop in San Diego. Kept 7 years. Had a complete file on this dirtbag. I called the district attorney in Denver and told him what I had on this suspect that we had booked into Denver jail. He said, "Bring it to me." So I did that next morning. Brought copies of that file to the district attorney, and we prosecuted him. That same gang member from San Diego that we arrested in Denver ended up in huge confinement in southern Colorado. The main federal penitentiary in Pueblo, Colorado has him today. He will never see the light of day out of the penitentiary in Colorado. Never happened. The same penitentiary had Timothy McVeigh in it. Okay? Same man. Now they had one additional terrorist that we had arrested in San Diego, that we arrested back in Denver, and he's in jail there forever. Not going to be released. Never again. But my story is this. Why am I telling you this? Because we all need to be prepared. Keep your head on a swivel, as Betty Johnson said. Keep your head on a swivel. Prepare. Prepare, 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 as I said before. Okay? Please do that. My buddy Arnold over in Alberta, Canada is here. We appreciate him. He says pepper spray, hairspray, Raid bug spray. Here in the United States, that won't be tolerated. You can't spray Raid bug spray in somebody's face. It's called chemical poisoning. It's called chemical poisoning. That's against the law here in the United States. You can't do that. You can't even use bear spray either. Chemical poisoning. I have a complete story about that, but it's going to take too long to talk about that. But you can have pepper spray, yes. You can have your seeds. You can have your seeds for your weapon. Okay? You can have your seeds for your nug. Do that. Do that. Make sure you're qualified with your nug. Don't just purchase one. I think that will be just fine. Practice, practice, practice. Take it out of the range and use it. Buy seeds and use it. Practice, practice, practice. That way, when something does happen, you're going to be very accurate. And make sure you prepare yourself for that eventuality. Okay? Don't go through half-cocked. Just do it. Practice yourselves. Practice yourselves. Okay? Now, I want to talk about earthquakes as well. We have a lot of earthquakes we want to talk about here. Okay? I'm going to go down and talk about earthquakes with USGS map today. I'm also going to use my device here and show you other earthquakes as well. Now, in doing so, I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam for the time being and show you what's going on here. I want you to be very aware of, well, what's going on. Okay? Earthquakes. Literally earthquakes around the world. Now, I have highlighted an earthquake in the volcano islands here. The volcano islands are southwest of Japan here. Southwest of Japan. This is a very strong 6.0 earthquake. Very strong 6.0 earthquake. This happened yesterday. Yesterday, guys. They're showing 2 aftershocks. There are literally 24 aftershocks here. 24 aftershocks are showing 2 here. This is a very strong 6.0 earthquake. Fortunately, these were this happened in the Pacific Ocean here, and nobody was even around it. The volcano islands here in Japan here, south of Japan, south of mainland Japan, are unoccupied islands. Aftershock. 5.0 aftershock. Aftershock. 4.6 moderate quake aftershock. Okay? Here in the volcano islands, the waters of the Pacific Ocean absorbed shockwaves from this quake. Nobody hurt, nobody injured, nobody lived in this area. We got lucky here. Got very lucky. Now, USGS is not showing any earthquakes in Japan. There are 2 earthquakes here in Japan. 2 earthquakes here in Japan. Let me bring up my device. I'll show you those earthquakes here. Honshu, Japan here. Here in Honshu, Japan. Okay? I bring up this. Well, we do have a webcam here. I didn't take it down. Here in Honshu, Japan. This is a 3.1 earthquake here. 3.1 earthquake here. Over further to the southwest is another 2.9, 3.0 here. So we have 2 earthquakes in Japan. USGS not even showing those. Sad. Sad. The preeminent seismic agency of the world is not even showing those earthquakes. South of mainland Japan. Right down here, Sulawesi, Japan. Sulawesi, Japan, right here. See that island here? 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 earthquake here. Seems insane, doesn't it? Very insane. But again, these are not the only earthquakes here. Let's go further to the south, just northeast of Taiwan. Just northeast of Taiwan. We've had earthquakes here before. We have a swarm here again. This is a large 5.0 earthquake. This is a large 5.6 earthquake. Very large 5.6 earthquake here. 6.2 kilometers or 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Same thing with this 5.0. Over here to the northeast, this is a 4.9 5.0 earthquake. This is a 4.9 5.0 earthquake. This is also 4.9 5.0 earthquake. So we actually have 5 5.0 large earthquakes here. Largest being a 5.6 to the west. Wild, huh? Certainly is. See, these islands are here, north of Taiwan. These islands here belong to Japan. These islands here belong to Japan. So these earthquakes are said to be in Japanese waters, even though they are in the East China Sea. These earthquakes are in the East China Sea, north of Taipei, Taiwan. Okay? That's what we're talking about this. Today we don't have any earthquakes at all in Taiwan. Central Philippines. Let's go down here to Central Philippines here. We have an earthquake there we wouldn't need to talk about. Right here. 5.0 earthquake here. 5.0 earthquake here. Where's that? This would hit the land. This would hit land. This is at Catagamayan Norte, Philippines. Catagamayan Norte, Philippines. Right there. This is a large earthquake. Large earthquake. Large earthquakes do damage. 5.0 earthquakes do damage here. Okay? They do damage. Large earthquakes in this region can also unalive people. Need to be aware of that as well. Large earthquakes unalive people. Let's go south to the main island of Japan. The big island of not Japan, but I mean Philippines. Mindanao, Philippines. Over here on the east side of Mindanao, Philippines, they're not showing any earthquakes, but there are. This is a 3.0 earthquake right there. Just off the east coast of Philippines, a 3.0 small quake. Further south, they're not showing this earthquake as well. Further south here, this is another 3.0 earthquake here. Okay, small earthquake. Both those earthquakes are in the Pacific Ocean. They didn't cause any harm. There are small 3.0 earthquakes that might cause your feet to move around or tingle because the ground is shaking. Here in the ocean, they don't do anything. The ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of the quake. Over here in Indonesia, let's back off here. Look here in Indonesia. USGS is showing one earthquake. East of Java, Indonesia. They're showing one 4.9 5.0 earthquake here. Los Palos, Timor-Leste, Indonesia. That's all fun and good. That's all fun and good. But what happened to all the other 48 earthquakes here in Indonesia? How about the other 48 earthquakes here in Indonesia today? They're not showing you one of them, but one of them. 48 other earthquakes here in Indonesia. 3.9 all the way down to 2.5 earthquakes here in Indonesia. 48 earthquakes. 48 earthquakes. Now, that's not all, folks. There's more. How about over here in Australia? Australia. Southwestern Australia. Pollenham, Western Australia. 2.45 earthquake here. 2.45 earthquake there. How about southeastern Australia? Near Jamestown, Australia. Here's a 2.01 earthquake there. 2.01 earthquake. Let me zoom in here. 2.01 earthquake near Jamestown, southeastern Australia. Okay? They're not showing either one of those earthquakes. They show other twos. They show other threes. Why don't they show these? Guess what? Guess what? Let's go over here to the Kermadec Islands here. The Kermadec Islands here. USGS is showing 1 5.0 earthquake here in the Kermadec Islands, north of New Zealand. The Kermadec Islands here are not occupied islands, except by birds. Except by birds. It's a bird sanctuary here in the Kermadec Islands, but this is in the ocean. I don't think this hit any island here in the Kermadec Islands. This is in the ocean. In the ocean here. Again, the seismic action here, the seismic waves were absorbed by the ocean water here in the South Pacific. Going further down here to the south here, New Zealand. New Zealand. Look at all the earthquakes here in New Zealand. Even one other aftershock from that 5.0. This is a 4.9 5.0 as well. 4.9 5.0 right next to the other 5.0 here in the Kermadec Islands. We go south. South. Just north of New Zealand here. This is a 2.98 3.0 earthquake here. 2.98 3.0 earthquake here. I'm going to zoom in here. We're going over here into the catcher's mitt. The catcher's mitt. Okay? Why do we call that that? Looks like a catcher's mitt here. Looks like a catcher's mitt right there. Okay? Go over here. Here we have another 2.45 earthquake there. Okay? But out here inside the ocean here. Out in the ocean here. 2.84 earthquake there. North of there, it's a 2.94 3.0 earthquake there. Okay? Also just east of there, still out in the ocean. This is a 2.79 earthquake. Notice where these earthquakes are. This is on the Tongan Trench. The Tongan Undersea Trench, it's the edge of the plate here. The edge of the plate. Over here in the islands here, there are 7 different tectonic plates in motion. 7 different tectonic plates in motion throughout the entire southeast part of Asia, including Australia. 7 different tectonic plates in play here. That's why we have so many earthquakes. The USGS still doesn't want us to see. But over here in New Zealand, we've shown you many earthquakes. There's more. There's a lot more. Over here on the southeast side or northeast side of the Big Island, the North Island. Waimata, New Zealand, 2.8 earthquake here. South there, you see another earthquake here. This is a 2.33 earthquake. 2.33 earthquake. We go over here to the volcano. Over here to the volcano. Nearly, I'm going to say maybe 5 miles east of the volcano here. By the way, let's zoom in here. I want to show you the volcano. This happens to be a super volcano here in New Zealand. Super volcano here in New Zealand right here. It's called Topa Volcano. Topa Volcano. Just 5 miles southeast of Topa Volcano. We have a 2.43 earthquake here. 2.43 earthquake here. This may be related to the volcano. There's a very good chance this may be related to the volcano. Super volcano here. Okay? Far west of that, Puketieri, New Zealand, 2.71 earthquake here. Okay? Let's go south. South and west. This is near Tangakarikau, New Zealand, 2.77 earthquake here. Let's go south to that volcano to the west, southwest here. Another volcano. Aurora, New Zealand. Aurora, New Zealand, we have a 3.03 earthquake. That's another volcano here. Now, we have another volcano right here that has erupted in the last 7 years. This is Rawhugh volcano here in New Zealand. That erupted about 7 years ago. It's been silent since. Occasionally you get steaming from this volcano, but that's all that happens here. Okay? Now, let's go south. Let's go south into the Cook Strait here. The Cook Strait. The body of water between the North and South Island of New Zealand here. This earthquake is a 2.76 earthquake. 2.76 earthquake here. There's more. There's more. See where Wellington is here? See where Wellington is here? The bay just to the southwest there, we have another 2.39 earthquake there. 2.39 earthquake right there. There's more. There's another one here. Actually, two of them. Here's a 2.23 earthquake there. And right next to, just to the south there, another 2.23 earthquake there. Two minor earthquakes right there. Right next to the ocean there, I don't think anybody felt those earthquakes at all. Okay? But let's go to the northwest. Let's go to the northwest out here. Right about here. Here we have a 3.4 earthquake here. Why am I paying attention to New Zealand? Because we have people that watch and listen to this program in New Zealand. That's why. This is a 2.36 minor earthquake here. Okay? That's near Tapawera, New Zealand. Tapawera, New Zealand, 3.4 earthquake. We have one off in the ocean here. We have another earthquake off here in the ocean. Right about right there. This is a 3.32 earthquake there. South there, over on the coastline of the South Island. Central coastline of South Island. This is a 2.24 earthquake here. Remember I showed you that Tonga Trench? Guess what? Guess what that Tonga Trench does? The Tonga Trench, excuse me, the Tonga Trench goes down on the eastern side of the North Island, then it crosses over here to the South Island, over here on the east side of the South Island. That's why we have this 2.24 earthquake here. But yet another one further south. Further south. This is a 3.31 earthquake here. 3.31 earthquake here. USGS doesn't talk about this, do they? They never do. They never really touch on this at any time. Almost ever. But as I've said in the past when we talked about New Zealand, off the coast of the North Island, the New Zealanders are getting themselves ready for an 8.0 major earthquake here. They're getting ready, preparing themselves for an 8.0 subduction earthquake here, where the Pacific plate is subducting underneath the Indo-Australian plate here. The Pacific plate is going to subduct under the Indonesian-Australian plate. It already does it. But at some time, they say within the next 25 years, we're going to see an 8.0 earthquake right here, just off the coast of the North Island, on the Tonga Trench. On the Tonga Trench here. Okay? That's going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, let's go north here. The USGS is not showing any earthquakes here. North Vanuatu. North Vanuatu right here. 4.7 earthquake here. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. North Vanuatu there. Okay? Again, it's out in the ocean. It's out in the ocean. Actually, it's not. They moved it. I'm sorry. They moved it. I'm trying to find the island that it hit. That's the Solomon Islands. It's not Solomon Islands. It's in Vanuatu here. I don't think it's near Latte, Vanuatu here. There's an island right there that they're not showing the USGS map. This is a 4.7 earthquake there. It's on land here in Vanuatu, on one of the islands here in Vanuatu, on land, okay? The European agency is not defining which island it is. It may or may not be occupied, but a 4.7 moderate earthquake hit here today, Vanuatu, okay? There are no earthquakes in Papua New Guinea, but as I showed you, there are 49 earthquakes in Indonesia. 49. They're not talking about, are they? They never do. Going over into South America here. Let's pull up South America here. Look at this. They're not showing earthquake 1. Nothing. Nothing. 12 earthquakes here in central Chile. Central Chile, western Argentina. 12 earthquakes here. Up here to the north. 14 more earthquakes here. 14 more earthquakes here. Look at this. These are 2.75, 3.27, 3.5, 3.7, 4.2, and 4.5 earthquakes here in northern Chile, Argentina area here. Closer to Argentina here, Antofagasta, Chile, 3.7 earthquake here. Further south, Azteca, San Juan, Argentina, 2.9, 3.0. Southeast of there in Argentina, Cuatro Equenas, Argentina, 2.7 earthquake there. In Argentina, in the foothills of the Andes Mountains here, this is a 2.5 earthquake. Further to the southeast or southwest, this is a 2.6. South of the 2.6, this is also another 2.6. Going west This is a 3.0. This is another 3.1. Small earthquakes in the Andes Mountain foothills of Argentina. Earthquakes. Southern Chile. Biobío, Chile. 3.1 earthquake, and offshore, this is a 4.2 moderate earthquake here. 4.2 moderate earthquake here. Nobody felt that earthquake because it was offshore. Far enough offshore to be found in the ocean, with the ocean waters absorbing the shock waves of the earthquake. Further north. Let's go to Colombia. 2 earthquakes here in Colombia. Actually, 1. We have 1 in Ecuador as well. I forgot about this. This is a 3.5 earthquake here in Ecuador. North there in Colombia here. This is a 3.6. Then we go up to Venezuela. Here we have a 2.8 earthquake here, minor 2.8. Then we go over here to northeastern Venezuela. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. Look where the earthquake is. This is on the same fault coming out of Guatemala. The Cayman Ridge. The Cayman Ridge comes out of Guatemala. Goes all the way through the Caribbean, past the southern part of Cayman Islands, north of Jamaica, skirts Cuba, goes north of the Dominican Republic, north of Puerto Rico, goes around the U.S. British Virgin Islands, and down over here to the south part here, out here in the ocean, bypasses the outlying islands down here, goes out here into Venezuela here. Goes out around the outlying islands here, over to Venezuela. Notice that earthquake here in the northern islands here. This is another interesting place. One of my dear friends used to live here, or not live there, but visit there, doing some work there. Nevis area, St. Kitts and Nevis. This is a 3.5 earthquake here. St. Kitts and Nevis. The northern part of the outlying islands there in the Pacific Caribbean area. Way up here. Way up there. And USGS is not even showing that earthquake. 3.5 earthquake right there. Okay? Interesting how they don't want to talk about it. Kind of doesn't surprise me anymore. I'm very disappointed, but doesn't surprise me at all. Saddens me. Saddens me greatly. Now, I'm just going to touch on this just briefly. There are 13 earthquakes here in Central America. 13 earthquakes here in Central America, including Guatemala. Going north of Guatemala up here. Going north of Guatemala to Mexico, southern Mexico. Southern Mexico all the way up to Puerto Vallarta up here. 42 earthquakes between Puerto Vallarta and Guatemala. 42 earthquakes. 2.9, 3.0s, up to 3.9s, 4.0, 4.7 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. All up and down the coastline. on land and in the ocean up here, all up and down the coastline of southern Mexico. 42 earthquakes. Here. USPS never shows those earthquakes. They never show those earthquakes, but they're there. Now, I have some other things to show you here. And again, this is important. Okay? Nebraska here, north of Oklahoma. Nebraska got hit as well. I'm sorry, that's Colorado. There's Oklahoma, there's Kansas, there's Nebraska right there. We have a 2.6 earthquake here in Nebraska, just north of the Oklahoma border. 2.6 earthquake, guys. Guess what? Oil and gas earthquake. Oil and gas fracking earthquake. What else is happening? We go down to Oklahoma. Gonna skip over Kansas because we have no reported earthquakes in Kansas. However, there might be some. But here in Oklahoma, we have some earthquakes, don't we? Now, what you need to hear about Oklahoma earthquakes. They are only showing you 2 earthquakes, which is a joke. There are about 17 to 18 earthquakes here in Oklahoma today. 17 to 18 earthquakes here in Oklahoma today. Let's go over here and touch on these 2. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. This is northeast of May, Oklahoma. 2.0 earthquake here. Let's zoom in on it. Okay. Let's move around it. I don't see any oil and gas opportunities here. I don't see any pumping operations in this area. But it appears right here. This may be along a fault, an earthquake fault here in Oklahoma. Okay? This is a 2.04 earthquake, minor earthquake, 7 miles northeast of May, Oklahoma. However, one other earthquake is here as well that they're showing us. Again, they're not showing us everything at all. They never do show us everything that's going on. Never ever. Actually, they've taken it down. Dadgum them. They've taken it down. Actually, they may not have. Actually, this is not. Actually, it is. Dadgum them. This is just outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, as you can see. They're calling this a quarry blast. Let's zoom in and take a look at it here. They're calling this a quarry blast. Does this look like a quarry blast to you? It's nowhere near a quarry. There's an industry just to the north there. Definitely industry going on. Doesn't look like a quarry at all. doesn't look like a quarry at all. However, look down here closely. Look down here closely. Okay? Fortunately, I have my other device here to show you what's going on here. I want you to see this. Off to the southwest, there is that rectangle box here. Off to the southwest, there's a rectangular box. What's this? What's this rectangular box right there? Oil and gas. That is an oil and gas platform. That is an oil and gas platform, making this an oil and gas earthquake. Anywhere from 6 to 10 miles away from the oil and gas platform, there's an earthquake. It is fracking earthquake. Fracking earthquake. Now, why am I being very specific about this today when they're only showing 2 earthquakes? The simple matter is this. There have now been over 400 earthquakes within the last 30 days here in Oklahoma. 400 plus earthquakes here in Oklahoma in the past 30 days. They're not talking about it, are they? Heaven's sakes, they may show 2 or 3 earthquakes a day. That does not make 400 plus earthquakes. As of about noon today, we had 401. I believe now we've had 402 or 3. Yeah. Just here in Oklahoma. Yes, some of these are oil and gas fracking earthquakes. Yes, they are. In fact, I would believe that at least 2/3 of them are oil and gas fracking earthquakes. What are the others? That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. But there are over 400 earthquakes already within the last 30 days here in Oklahoma. Now, we have friends and EMA family members living here in Oklahoma. They're scared. They're scared, guys. Yes, USGS claims that these are only minor 2.0 earthquakes or even tremors, 1.0, 1.9 tremors. But these earthquakes are felt. These earthquakes are sometimes felt here in Oklahoma. That means these earthquakes are larger than they are saying they are. Earthquakes here are larger than they're saying they are. Plus, not just that, but because of the location where they're at. Seismic waves travel faster through this soil, through this bedrock here. They travel faster and further than they would travel anywhere else here east of the Continental Divide. We're having earthquakes here, a lot of earthquakes. And again, USGS is not even showing all of them. Not even close to it. Not even close to it. Now, I may have a picture of some of these earthquakes here. Just bear with me for just a second here. I'm going to try to bring them up here. Give me just a second here. Okay, I'm going to show you this on my device. Okay, we're talking 2.0 to 3.3, 1.0, 1.4, 1.7 earthquakes here. Look at this. Look at this, guys. 2.0 earthquake there in Oklahoma. That's today. 1.0 tremor today. 1.4 tremor today. 1.0 tremor there. 3.3 earthquake here in Oklahoma today. They're not showing that, are they? How about a 1.7 tremor as well? Another one there. All this seismic activity happened today in Oklahoma. Okay? Today. Over 401 earthquakes already today by 12 noon today. 401 earthquakes here in the last 30 days. It's interesting to know. Just 1 minute ago, we had 33 people watch this program. Now we have 22. 22. Apparently, people aren't concerned about these earthquakes. People are not concerned, but these people here in Oklahoma are feeling these earthquakes. My friend used to be part of our program quite consistently, watching our program and being part of the chat. Her name is Julissa. Julissa. She and her husband live there in Oklahoma. They are feeling some of these earthquakes. They're feeling some of these earthquakes. Let's go over here to the Pneumatic Fault here. Eastern, northeastern side, actually not northeastern, but central part of the Pneumatic Fault here. Earthquake here. This is a 2.8 minor earthquake here in Marston, Missouri. Near Marston, Missouri here, guys. A 2.8, nearly 3.0 earthquake here in Marston, Missouri. This is on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault here. The western side of the Pneumatic Fault right here. Near Marston, Missouri here. 2.8 earthquake. Guess what? 5.6 miles deep here on the Pneumatic Fault. I'd be concerned. What about all the other earthquakes here on the Pneumatic Fault today? Of course, they're not going to show them. Heaven forbid they show all the earthquakes. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm going to show you all kinds of earthquakes here on the Pneumatic Fault. All kinds of them. There are between 300 and 400 earthquakes here on the Pneumatic Fault every day. Every day. USGS just shows one of them today. Most of the time they don't show any at all. Texas. Central Texas and also southwestern Texas have earthquakes. Fracking earthquakes. Oil and gas fields here. Oil and gas fields right here. Right here. Oil and gas, you guys. Oil and gas. This is a 2.4 minor earthquake. This is a 0.9 1.0 tremor here. These are in Stanton, Texas. Stanton, Texas. This is a 1.1 tremor. Look where it's at. Right next to an oil and gas platform. 3 of them. 3 oil and gas platforms right there. 3 oil and gas platforms right there, and this is right in the middle of one. Right smack dab in the middle of them. Oil and gas fracking. How about this earthquake right here? Right underneath a pool. These pools here, not swimming pools. These are wastewater treated pools here where they inject the water from these pools into the ground to pull oil and gas out of the ground. That's what this is about. This is a 1.0 tremor here. For out here to the southeast, right next to another platform here. This is a 2.4 earthquake here, again near Stanton, Texas. 2.4 earthquake here, right next to an oil and gas platform. All kinds of oil and gas platforms throughout this area. Oil and gas fracking earthquakes here. Central Texas. All kinds of earthquakes here. Oil and gas. Southwestern Texas, all kinds of earthquakes happening here. Swarms of earthquakes, guys. Swarms. This one is just south of the New Mexican border here in Texas. 1.7 tremor here. Just to the southeast, this is a 1.5 tremor. Over here, this is a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here. Oil and gas, guys. These are oil and gas fields here. Look at all the platforms here. Oil and gas earthquakes here. Okay? That's what's happening here in Texas. Southern California is on fire with earthquakes. Southern California is on fire with earthquakes. Rightly so. Again, we are expecting a 7.0 earthquake to hit here on the San Andreas Fault very soon, very, very soon. Could happen any day now. Even USGS is putting out an earthquake watch here on the southern San Andreas Fault here in Southern California. Today, over here in the Imperial Valley, 5 miles northeast of a town called Imperial. 5 miles northeast of a town called Imperial. This is a 1.1 tremor here. 1.1 tremor. Now, guys, they can say it's a 1.1 tremor here, but guess what? There are a lot more tremors. There are a lot more minor earthquakes. And there may even be some 3.0 small earthquakes here in the town of Imperial. They're not showing them, are they? Sometimes they don't even show them on the seismograms anymore. That's because they're scrubbing the information off scrubbing the data off the seismograms. They don't want anybody to know what's going on. Over here in El Centro, town probably now at least 50,000 people. Been a while since I've been here. Used to be a town of about 25,000. Now it's probably 50,000. We have anywhere from 7 to 23.0 earthquakes here a day in El Centro. All over El Centro. But again, they are not showing almost any other earthquakes here. None. Down here in a town called Holtville, right there. Town of probably 10 to 15,000 people. Here we have the Salton Sea Desert Research Station here in Holtville. Seismograph there. Here we have probably 50 earthquakes a day. 50 earthquakes a day here in Holtville. They're not showing any at all. None. None. Up here to the northeast, this is a town called Calipatria. Up until recently, we had a seismograph that was operational here. It still is operational, I understand now. We had it here last week. It may be still operational. We have anywhere between 75 to 150 earthquakes here a day here in Calipatria. Calipatria. 150 earthquakes here every day. We have over 500 earthquakes a day here in the county of Imperial, California. 500 earthquakes a day. That doesn't even count the rest of Southern California, Los Angeles and San Diego, California. 400 plus earthquakes a day here in Southern California, not to include Imperial. That means nearly 1,000 earthquakes a day here in Southern California, and they're not even showing those earthquakes. Not even showing them here. They're showing one red earthquake here. Corona, California. 1.3 tremor here in Corona. Interesting. There are a lot more earthquakes here around Corona than they are showing here. And forbid they tell us exactly what's going on here. Up here just south of Santa Clara, still in the county of LA. This is a 1.1 tremor here in Santa Clara, or Santa Clarita, just south of Santa Clarita. Guess what's over here in Santa Clarita? A huge amusement park. Huge monster amusement park. Six Flags over South Carolina, or southern Santa Clarita. Six Flags over here in Santa Clarita, California. I've been there. Earthquake here today, but they're only reporting tremors. Just briefly to close here. Up here in the San Francisco Bay Area, right here, new earthquake. 0.7 microquake in this is in Orinda, California. Kitty Haven just gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you, Kitty Haven, for that. I'm giving you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I'm also giving you a thumbs up for that super chat. Thank you so much. Mr. Ron, I hope you'll cover South Carolina. We're having a bunch of felt quakes there. Folks are scared here. Thank you for all your research. Kitty Haven, guess what? You are having earthquakes in South Carolina. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. I will pull up this information tomorrow with the new Madden Fault, and I'll show you earthquakes happening all over South Carolina and North Carolina as well. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here with our program. Appreciate you being here to help us, all of us. Thank you for your super chat, and may God bless you for this. God bless you very much. Again, over here in the San Francisco Bay Area on the Hayward Fault. On the Hayward Fault. Go figure, another earthquake here. 0.7 microquake. But not to be outdone, guess what's happening here? What's happening here, guys? More earthquakes. San Ramon, California. Swarms of earthquakes. There's one earthquake here, only one earthquake here earlier today. Now we have a small swarm of earthquakes. Right here, just south of San Ramon. This is a 1.6 tremor here. A brand new earthquake here. 1.8 tremor here. Right next to it, a 2.8 minor earthquake. 2.8 minor earthquake. South of that, another 1.5. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake. This is 1.8. This is a 3.3 small earthquake here. San Ramon is having earthquakes. San Ramon is having earthquakes here again. These are earthquakes in San Ramon, California. These earthquakes have been going on off and on since last October. One of our EMA family members, Rob, 52, has a daughter here near San Ramon in Danville, California. God bless her. Guys, all of you, I know some of you have family members or you live in the Bay Area yourself. We are going to have a major earthquake here in the Bay Area. It's a matter of time. We have not had a major earthquake here since 1989. October 1989, we had a 6.9 earthquake here. I believe it was a lot stronger than that, probably a 7.5. Major damage here in San Francisco Bay Area. The earthquake was centered on the Hayward Fault. On the Hayward Fault. Up here near Berkeley. Earthquake here again in Orinda, California. Orinda, California. We're going to have another earthquake here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's not just prophesied, it's promised. It's promised. It's going to happen. It will happen. Further to the south, also in Hayward, this is 1.7 in 7 Trades, California. On Hayward. Further south on the San Andreas Fault, this is a 2.1 earthquake here in Aromas, California. Notice where the Calaveras, the Hayward, and the San Andreas come together, right in this area here, just south of Monterey Bay. The San Andreas, the Hayward, and the Calaveras come together. This is one of the most dangerous areas in California. One of the most dangerous areas in California. Further south of Seven Trees, this is Ridgemark, California, 1.2 tremor here. We have a swarm of earthquakes here on the San Andreas. This is a 3.5 here near the Pinnacles. The Pinnacles. This is an oil and gas area here on the San Andreas. This is a 3.5 small earthquake. Right next to it is a 1.3 tremor here. Right on top of the fault, this is 1.1. Further to the south, this is also 1.1 tremor on the San Andreas Fault. Southwest of the San Andreas, San Lucas, California. This is 1.4 tremor here. Northern California is going to have a big earthquake, a major earthquake. It's coming. It's coming. Get prepared, guys. It's coming. Do we have any questions? Any questions from anyone? Hurricane Heather's talking about velocities and omegas. Nobody knows what you're talking about, Heather. Can you define that? Heather said no questions. Okay. All right, Heather, no problem. No problem. I'm going to end here, guys. It's nearly 7 p.m. I'm going to end here, but not before we leave you with a scripture here. Why? Because we talk about a lot of things that are not so good. I want to give you some uplift. Here I'm going to Philippians chapter 2, starting with verse 1. If there be therefore any consolation in Christ, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem each other than themselves. Look not at every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you in love, which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. May each of us try to be more like Jesus Christ. Be more loving and kind. Be thoughtful and love each other. Those are my last words here today. I love each one of you. I appreciate you all being here today. May God bless you and lift you up. May God bless those people who've lost family members in the war. May God bless all those who are in need of blessings. Those people that may need to have blessings in their lives and their health. May God give you health and strength also in your weaknesses. May God be with you this day and night as we close this program. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.